Alright guys, today we have Chef Raymond here. He's going to show us a risotto, but this one, instead of doing an Instant Pot, we're going to do the kind of classic risotto. He's going to add some sun-dried tomatoes, a couple different cheeses, right? What else?
Yeah.
You got Boursin?
I got a cheese called Boursin cheese. It's a garlic and herb to dairy cheese used for more like cheese platters. It's very like sweet and garlicky and milky. So it's gonna really give a good punch to the risotto. So we're gonna start off with frying off the rice. You use about a tablespoon of oil, olive oil, to be exact, and you just wanna give it a little stir until it's brown and gold on a medium high. Careful, don't let it spill out too much.
So you toasted it, now you're gonna add the shallots?
Shallots and garlic. Down a bit, about to a medium heat. Okay.
Smelling good.
Moving it around because you don't want the shallots and garlic to burn, and also you don't want the rice to burn either. And then you can just add the chicken stock. You want to add just enough to cover the rice. You got to keep stirring it at this point because if you don't, it's just going to stick to the bottom and it's going to burn. And you just slowly keep stirring it with your hand and your spoon. And you just keep adding bit by bit. Make sure it's the rice is fully cooked.
You always want to make sure that there's liquid, yeah?
Yeah, always. Because then it's just gonna stick to the bottom. You don't want it to burn.
Yeah. So constantly stirring it.
Constantly stirring it. You ever watch Gordon Ramsay? He doesn't like a burn or a mushy, thick risotto.
Right.
When you make risotto, it has to be runny. It doesn't have to be too runny. You want it to like at least go all around the plate. I'll show you guys when I plate it up. Usually, if you think you have too much liquid, you don't. The rice will absorb it, especially when you add the butter and the cream. It's gonna give it a nice thick richness to it. I learned this dish at my first job at the Sheraton. Yeah. We used to make big batches of it. Big old skillets. They always made me do it. Yeah, Ray, you make the best. You make the best one. So you can see the rice is starting to open up. I think with this rice, there's like a little white tip to it, and I think once you don't see the white tip anymore, they're fully cooked. And you can tell. It's like you can't really see the white tip, but they're in there. At this point, I'll add my sun-dried tomatoes so they can start cooking as well. can add your cream. Right, you add the butter, the cream, the cheese all towards the end because the rice is still cooking. You don't want the rice to be mushy either. You want it to have an al dente bite to it, like pasta.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, it smells great.
Okay, this is when I'll add my butter. It's gonna just
2
fall.
tablespoons or so.
2 tablespoons, exactly. Yeah, 2 tablespoons of butter.
It's probably like a 1/4 cup of milk that you added.
Half a cup.
Maybe half a cup?
Half a cup, yeah. Half a cup of heavy cream. See how,
cream.
you see how the butter is just gonna give it that thickness? Yeah, it's just gonna flow right in there. I'm gonna add some Parmesan cheese. Parmesan cheese, you don't want to add too much, it's salty. Sun-dried tomatoes a little bit salty as well.
Have you added any salt yet?
No, not yet. Not until the end. All towards the end.
And then the Boursin also has some salt in it,
Saltiness,
right?
yeah, very salty. It's also
You want to always salt at the end, right? Because and the chicken stock has salt in it as well.
definitely
So,
see, always.
a lot of salt. Look at that.
This is how you kind of wanted to get it.
Yeah, it should be runny, right?
Yeah.
It'll run off the spoon.
It shouldn't stick to the spoon. It should run off.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's ready. And then you want to give it a quick taste to see if the rice is ready. You can keep cooking it.
Yeah.
I usually don't add the cheese until it's ready.
Right.
Like,
You just finish it with the cheese.
yeah, exactly. Cheese is like the finishing touch.
Right. Because you don't want to be cooking the cheese. You just want it to melt, basically.
Also, adding water to it is not gonna let the sauce break. So it's like, you know, when you see like the oils come up on top
Yeah.
and it starts to break.
Yeah, so what happens when the sauce break is the fats separate from the waters. Like the water that's in like if it's the butter, so the
butter and the cream.
The butter and the cream, yeah, exactly. The cream curdles, and so the fat from the cream separates from the milk solids.
Yep, it's like the oil and vinegar effect.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so you can see now, like it's all the rice is it's really sticking together. You can tell that it's about fully cooked almost.
Yeah.
And I'll add my cheese right at the end.
It's like probably like a 1/4 cup of cheese there, right?
Yeah, half. It's like it's like a barrel, like a circle cheese. So I put half of it in.
Oh, okay. Now it's getting really creamy.
Yeah, see that? The cheese is just gonna give it that thickness that you want, and like that's gonna be like a nice color.
Yeah. Nice and red from the sun-dried tomatoes.
It's exactly the color you want as well. And you can just put this on a low heat
Yeah.
as you stir in the cheese. And if you think your risotto's a little too thick, you can just add a little bit more water at the end. And then I'll do salt to taste. Salt.
Kosher salt.
Show you guys how to plate this.
Yeah, it should be spooning right on there, right?
Yep.
Nice and runny.
Should fall off right off the spoon. See, that's how you want it to get.
You also add like a meat or some shrimp or whatever, right? So some
You
sort
could-
of protein.
Some kind of protein on top, you could. You know, give it some color.
Right.
There you go.
Boom. That's it. Turn out. Perfect. Bomb.
Very good. It's very rich, creamy. Sun-dried tomatoes give it that good acidity.
Yeah, right.
The rice is, I think it's cooked perfect.